This is the 315th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud, and just a few more left. 317 is on the horizon, and 315. So, the 315th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud appears in Tractate Niddah 43a. According to the book by Rabbi Aharon Yehoshua Pessin called Taiku. And Taiku is an unanswered, unresolved question in the Babylonian Talmud, to which the tradition says that we must wait until the Messiah comes for the answer, and the tradition is that Elijah the prophet will give the answer. I'm not exactly sure why Elijah, why not the Messiah, but I guess that's my own personal Taiku. But be that as it may, there's only 3 more left, including this one. So there's 2 more after this. In the whole Talmud, I started this project about a month short of a year ago. 300, a little bit more than that. Say 315 days ago. Here we are. A little disclaimer, or just a disclaimer on this. The Tractate of Niddah deals with women's subjects, particularly the monthly flow, the monthly cycle, and it may not be suitable for all audiences. And also, the opinions expressed in the Talmud do not reflect my own opinion. I'm simply reading it as one who is studying it. Many things need to be considered when evaluating the information that's offered in the Talmud. For example, their historical context, the past 1,500 years or so, or more, 1,800 to 1,500 years, has changed the world a lot. A lot of things are not applicable today that were applicable then. And many things exist on the world today that just the rabbis of the Talmud, or rabbis even 500 years ago, would have no idea. For example, AI. I mean, the rabbis would have no idea about some automated information source that can talk to you in the computer. I mean, try describing AI to these rabbis of the Talmud, to Abaya and Rava. They would say, I can just imagine someone coming from the future and in a time machine and visiting Rava, who we're about to read about, and say, Rava, in the future, there are going to be these things called computers that are basically like boxes that hold information, and you can store things in there. You can store information there, and calculate things with it, and do all kinds of things, do graphic design, make pictures with it. Rava might say, wow, that's amazing. I mean, we don't have anything like that on the world right now. And you would tell Rava, let's say, you'd say, you know what? That's not even the half of it. That's just the computer itself. But wait until after the computer is developed, I don't know, 70s, 80s, whenever it was, and you have your own personal computer where you can write and store and process information. And if in a few more decades, you're going to have this thing called the internet. And Rava goes, what's the internet? And then you try to explain the internet to Rava, and you say, well, the internet is like this thing that's like, it's this connectivity, this computer connectivity across the world that you can upload, you can put information there, and you can have something called a website. A website is like your own personal place within this web of interconnectivity through all computers in the world. And you can access this website, and you can order food with it. You can get products from Amazon. And Rava goes, what's Amazon? And then you explain that, etc. I won't stay too long on that. and then you go to Rava or Abaya or Rav or Shmuel and you go, wait a minute, you haven't even heard, it gets better. And they go, really? Wow, it gets better? Okay, what could be more than that? Well, eventually there's going to be this thing called AI, artificial intelligence. This is like another person, another brain, that you can talk to it, and it can talk back to you, and it will have human emotions, or at least it will sound like it from the computer. And it will have different voices, and you can talk to it, and it can actually, in many cases, most cases, it's way smarter than a human being. It can calculate much quicker and supply much more amounts of information. It can talk. It can say back everything that you have and Abaya have talked about, and throughout the whole Talmud, it can repeat it back, probably more than. Well, as of this recording, I've seen some mistakes within the AI in the Talmud area, but it's getting better and better and evolving. Eventually, you'll have people who are called Baki and Shas, which means like a complete expert in the whole Shas, and it will just be AI. It won't even be a human being. It'll be a computer code that will be talking to you as another person. And I don't know what Abaya and Rav or Rav and Shmuel would say to that. What do you think they would say to that? So my point is that no one can disagree that the world is a completely different world now. Different world. I mean, Abaya and Rav didn't even know what cars. I mean, we hear a motorcycle. That reminded me. They don't. Maybe it's not a motorcycle. Whatever it is, it's annoying. Maybe it is a motorcycle. So anyway, the point is, how about cars? You know, the rabbis never even seen a car. It wasn't invented yet. So it's a very different world. We're going to a world of antiquity, really, right now. So just bear that all in mind. I took a long time saying that, but just to give you a picture of that, when they say it's not, it's the same thing as then as now. It's totally not. The world is a different world, and I think it just illustrated that pretty clearly. So when you talk about rabbis who talk about they're wondering whether whatever it is, I would just say not to take offense to it because of how where they were in terms of the world, in terms of development. But anyway, and conversely, there's a lot of wisdom that they offer that is timeless and applies today just as much as it did even before their time. So, with that being said, I make a disclaimer. When they apply their viewpoints to matters of science, of medicine, to health, and other things, then just with that disclaimer, please bear this in mind. Also, the women's issues, please bear it in mind. Also, the Jew and Gentile issue, can bear that in mind. A lot has changed over this time. And with that disclaimer, we proceed to the 315th Taiku, unanswered, unresolved question in the Babylonian Talmud, appearing on Niddah 43a. Boy Rava, this is where we're talking about Rava, who hasn't mentioned him. Boy Rava, so Rava raises a dilemma, another dilemma, which was a Taiku also on 43a yesterday. Rava raises a further dilemma with regard to a woman who experienced a discharge of uterine blood after her menstrual period, whose urine, which imparts impurity, like all liquids that she discharges, was uprooted but not emitted from her body, and she descended to the ritual bath and immersed to purify herself from her ziva, and urinated afterwards. What's the halakha about that? Is that impure or not? Im timseloma basam yikaz linon hanimini shikhvasera toimatzinakit le avon memeraglea timatzinakile lo idilma lo ishna teku. The Gemara explains the sides of the dilemma. Even if you say that generally we follow the moment of uprooting, and therefore she should be impure since the urine was uprooted when she was a zava, nevertheless, one can claim that this statement applies only with regards to semen, as the man, I'm not sure what they mean by this, but they say the man cannot hold it back from emission. I mean, I think that you can hold it back from emission a lot longer than urine. They're claiming that she can hold back the urine. But I mean, urine is a lot more urgent than the other thing. He can hold it anytime he wants. I mean, if if he's not conscious or it comes out by itself or whatever. But we're talking about, a conscious decision to hold it back. But anyway, they're saying that he can't hold it back. But doesn't seem to be really accurate. See what I mean? I mean, they're assuming that, but unless I'm not understanding it correctly. But from the words of this Talmud, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. But don't forget that I made a disclaimer before. So, but with regard to the urine of the Zava, which she can hold in, you can hold your urine in for some time, but after a while, it becomes real urgent. So they're claiming that she can hold it in. All right. One does not follow the moment of uprooting, or perhaps there's no difference in the application of this principle between urine and semen, but rather, in both cases, one follows the moment of uprooting. Here too, the Gemara concludes that the dilemma shall stand unresolved until the coming of Messiah. Who's going to be the lucky one to ask the Messiah this question? Or Elijah the prophet, rather. But in any case, we need to wait until that time, until the coming of the Messiah, the son of David and the son of Joseph, who I think is the same Messiah. I think it's the same Messiah. But let's wait until that happens. Maybe soon in our day.